Hello folks! Thank you for watching this video. This is going to be the first part of probably quite a long video series of a very special bike called the Kawasaki KZ1000 Z1R. The Z1R was a low production, high performance motorcycle. Very nice looking motorcycle. Pretty much just the same engine as a Kawasaki KZ1000, but it had some performance features about handling. Anyway, I got one that's a derelict, piece of garbage, totally trashed, and it is my intent to make it look like new again. And in doing so, I will live up to the channel's name. The channel's name is Wasting My Money on Motorcycles. I feel that I'm going to waste a lot of money on this particular motorcycle. So, thank you for watching, and let's get started. Well, what do we have here? We have a 1978 Kawasaki KZ1000 D model. The D model is the legendary, so to speak, Z1R. The Z1R was the kind of like the highest performance variant of the KZ1000. There was a turbo model that they made out of some of them. This one is not in particularly good shape. What you see is what I got. It did come with a brand new reproduction gas tank, and I just spent about $3,000 in other body components, mostly body components, but a lot of stuff to mount on the body components and other stuff. So besides all the missing body components and the missing seat, I got brand new seat, all the stuff to make a brand new seat. You know, kind of it's not a lot that's great about it. It's this Kirker that looked good from 10 feet away is obviously beat on. It's been rusted and sprayed over with flat black. The frame has largely been sprayed over with flat black. Of course, the tires are no good. So anyway, this is a bike that these bikes have been, increasing in value. Not that I buy bikes to flip them and make money, but this is something worth investing some bucks in. I paid a good amount of money for it, which I will divulge at the end. Looking around, what is that? There's just stuff everywhere. So, where do you get going on something like this? I will end up stripping it all down completely to the frame and take the frame out to a sandblaster and have it sandblasted and powder coated gloss black. That's what's going to happen to the frame. The wheels are probably reconditioned myself. Basically strip them down and paint them. The paint work is going to be done by a professional who has done about 11 of these bikes, so he knows exactly what to do. And I dropped all of the stuff off with him already. If he wants me to mention who he is, I will ask him. But before I tear it down, I'm going to see if the motor turns. Definitely, when I take the motor out, I'll end up tearing the top end apart and see what it looks like. You know, maybe get it bored out and new pistons. Again, this is something that I want to put some money into and make into a beautiful classic bike again. It needs all of the normal stuff that you would need to do on any bike that's been trashed. You know, I'll end up doing wheel bearings, sprocket chain, shocks, rebuild the forks. It needs the controllers, signal controllers. The dash has been stripped. I have the parts to remake the dash. What else? So yeah, so before I take the engine out, before I strip it all the way down, I'd love to see if the engine runs. I kind of doubt that it does. It's certainly not going to run with no coils. So I have coils and a electronic ignition set. But I will start by just seeing whether the engine turns. Somebody put new spark plugs on it. But first thing I will do is see if I can get the engine just to even turn over. Yeah, there's stuff like just hanging off of it. There's no oil pickup. I don't know if you can see it in there. Oil pickup's missing, so I can't start it until I put some pieces on it that are missing. I happen to have another KZ1000 engine out in my shed, so I'll have to take some parts off. The tachometer drive is missing. There's that little hole there I can't get to focus it. So that's missing. The carbs, the throttles don't move cleanly. Well, they kind of do. But those will come. I'll take those off and see if there's any chance that they're just going to work. But I want to see if the engine will run. It will turn over with the starter, and then do a compression check to take a look. I mean, if it has low compression on one of the cylinders, then there's no reason to bother trying to start it. I'm not 100% certain I'm gonna try to start it because it's a bunch of work, and then I'm just gonna tear it down anyway. But if there was a bad lower end noise, maybe I'd be able to tell that. There's no oil in it, looks like. Yeah, why is there no oil in it? So I will at least try and do a compression check before I rip it all down. All right. So this is the Z1R, all the body stuff. I'm getting ready to bring it to the painter. It's a reproduction gas tank. I got that with the bike. That's about it. The bike's pretty stripped. All this other stuff came from the Doremi collection. Yocto design, I think it is. Oh, here's the guy I was dealing with. Yuzuki Yamaruchi, I don't know. Japanese guy. This came up, I could list all this stuff. This is a pinstriping kit. New fender, new side covers, tail cowl, front cowl, gas tank. It's everything that gets painted. And that is going to go up to the painter. That's that. Well, my hopes of running the engine are kind of dashed, even doing a compression test. Because as I looked under it, trying to investigate why it has no oil in it, I found that the oil pan bolts are mostly missing. There's like 2 or 3 in there. All the bolts on this cover are missing. This is the clutch cover. Some of the magneto bolts are missing. The fact that they're missing is not the problem. The problem is, why are they missing? Who took it apart and like stuck it back together? Why did they take it apart, you know? Like, I can rebuild the top end, no problem. Let's say I rebuild the top end and I make the engine look beautiful, put it in the bike, it's all restored, and then it won't go into gear, or it won't come out of first gear. You know, there's something majorly wrong with it. Whether there's something wrong with the crank. So, I don't know. Now I'm thinking, maybe I'll just take the engine out. Well, I'm going to take this cover off and see. I believe there's a nut under here. I can turn the motors to see whether it turns. If it doesn't turn, that makes it a pain in the ass to take it apart because you can't get past the cam chain. So, what am I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to take this off. All the bolts are loose. What's there of them? One of the engine mount bolts is missing. The hardware on the other side for that mount is missing. A lot missing. The wire that connects to the starter motor doesn't even seem to be there. Okay. There's like a starter clutch on these. I don't know how it works. Interesting. Alright. Let's see if it'll go all the way around. Well, it seems to go all the way around. Making some kind of impression. Alright. Well, I think I will take this cover off. No bolts at all, okay. Where is the wire for the starter? Oh, okay. Oh, here it is. Alright, so somebody was doing exactly what I was thinking of doing, which is jumping it to do a compression test. Oh, look at this. I got a fin that's broken. That sucks. And is another broken there? I'm not sure if that's broken or if that's supposed to be like that. Probably broken. I don't know if that's enough though. No, that's broken. That sucks. It's stuff like that, like, you know, what do you do with a broken fin? Is it possible to repair it by sending it to some expert somewhere and having them charge you $500? Yeah. This cost goes up and up and up and up. Alright. So I'll put this cover back on, I'll take the plugs out and just see how it spins. $60. Cylinder. 55. Cylinder 2. Same thing, about 50, 55. 70. So, would this thing start? Maybe. Probably not. It might start, but it's not worth doing all the work to make it start because the compression is so low. I mean, obviously, I'm going to take it apart anyway. The point of starting the engine would have been nice to see if I could shift it through the gears, see how it sounded, if any low end rattles. But since the oil pan is loose, somebody went in there, and there is this thing on KZ1000s where if they get dropped on the gear shifter the wrong way, you can break some part and then it won't shift, and you have to go in, you have to split the cases to fix it. So, I don't know. I'm probably gonna end up having to split the cases and go into it. I've never done that on a KZ1000, but I do know some people that have, so maybe I will bring it to somebody and do it with them. We'll see. But I think next step will be complete teardown. So I'll get it down to the frame and separate out all the components that I want to have blasted and powder coated. That would be the frame, the swing arm, maybe the brake calipers, not sure. Maybe. A lot of little pieces of hardware because you want them all to be the same color. Alright, that's it for now. Well, time to start stripping this thing down. I went to go loosen up the intake boots on the carburetors. There's no clamps on any of them. They're just stuck on there. So it's looking more and more like this bike was just kind of stuck together to look like a complete bike. It's been taken apart. There's all kinds of issues. Which I kind of knew because we look at it. Okay. Let's get rid of that chain. See if I can get this sprocket off with it on the engine, with the engine on the frame rather. Well, this is kind of surprising but not surprising. The screw for the bolt nut for this front sprocket is just coming right off. So it's just kind of tossed in there. Let's see. Now, the master link is missing the clip. Go. Let's get this exhaust off. It's a little smoky in here because I just destroyed a second drill. Brand new. Just got it out of the package tonight. To replace the other one that I destroyed, which is over there, is the trash. $150 drill, 2 of them. Trying to drill out this piece of pipe, which is a spacer to go in the axle of that blue bike. And it turns out It's very difficult to drill even a little bit of metal out of a big steel tube when it's big, like a 1 inch. But whatever. Spray bomb special. Kind of thrown together. Look at that. How those forks look. Nice pitted junk. So I have to find new forks. Which I didn't think I had to, because when I looked at it real quick, I didn't see it, but it was dark. So, shame on me. Pretty bad, but there's a lot of pitting. This thing sat out somewhere for a long time. Probably not usable. Alright, what's next? Let's start taking apart the front. I'm going to get the engine out. The engine looks heavy. I took another one out of a KZ1000 and I had a helper, and between the two of us we got it out, but man, it was a pain in the ass. It's got a pretty deep oil pan. You can see here the oil pan protrudes a bunch under the frame, so you have to like lift the engine up and bring it over. There's not a lot of clearance there. You know, it's funny, on the replacement cowl, it seems pretty solid. Doesn't totally feel like plastic. It's heavy. It's beat to shit. I don't know if the replacement cowl has these. I'm going to be very disappointed if these metal inserts are not there. Let's get these brakes off. Everything's hand tight. Really nasty looking bolt. take it off. Yeah, it's stripped. Let's see if an impact driver will work. I tapped a 14 on there and it held pretty good. Ah, it worked. Yes. There we go. It's the wrong bolt anyway. Or it's broken. Maybe it's broken. It's like someone took it apart to restore it and then changed their mind and stuck it back together. It's almost, that's what it seems like. Which is totally plausible. I mean, it's a huge amount of work. What's next? This has a very unique front master cylinder. It's got a cable up here. The cable activates the master cylinder, which is actually down here. And there's a reservoir over here on the side, which is unique, and it cleans up the handlebar a little bit, but 45 years after the fact, there's not many of these in existence, so I hope I can find a rebuild kit for it. But right now, we will just worry about getting it off the bike. Okay. 2 Phillips heads. I should probably undo the cable. I might do that before I take it all the way off. Good luck finding this front brake cable. Hopefully it's okay. I don't see anything obviously wrong with it yet. You're supposed to do this. Yeah, everything is disconnected. It's definitely like someone, well, it's not definitely, but it's just like someone said, someone started ripping it down, or ripped it down, said, I'm going to restore this, saw they were never going to get to it, stuck it back together so it looks like a somewhat complete bike. Not that it isn't. Somewhat complete, kind of, is what it is. It's kind of neat. All right, what's next? Okay. Looks like the cluster is just sitting here, so I can take this out. Some mechanics wire holding on the front stop switch. Which I better keep, because who knows if I can find that. Well, this looks usable anyway. It's pretty beat up, huh? Okay, well, looks like a solid piece of metal. I'm sure there was some kind of rubber bushing that are gone. Usually the Honda CB550s have bushing up here and down there. So we'll have to look that up. Alright, well this is good for now because it's holding I'm holding it with the handlebars. So not much left there. When I take out the wiring harness, when I start taking out the wiring harness, I'm sure going to be too hard. Not much left. I'll figure out how this comes apart. Some of it moved. Kawasaki reserve lighting system. Something to do with, I don't know. It's like if one path to the light goes out, this cuts over to another one. They all seem to have these. I don't know whether they're any good. I think most people strip them out. Alright, what else we got? Fuse box. Dyno electronic ignition. Which probably was nice. I don't know how good it is anymore. Okay. That's some kind of probably the voltage regulator, and this is the wire for the magneto. And here's a wire for the oil pressure switch, and here's the neutral wire. See if the starter will come out. Take the magneto off to make it lighter when I take the engine out. I'll strip those down. Alright, let's go on the other side. Something that really sucks is the seat lock mechanism is gone. And like the whole thing is missing. And I have no clue what it looks like. So that'll be interesting having to deal with that. I got a bolt here that's snapped off. I need to get that out before I send it out for powder coating. So we'll lift some intake collar. Weird gasket. That might be for an outlet.
The battery box out.
Fun to put back in when everything's powder coated. Junk. Is this thing just sitting there? Yeah, that thing's just sitting there. Get it out easy. No. Should I wait? Let's see. I'm gonna get that. Probably should have waited until I took the back tire off. Oh well. What else? Engine mounts. Nothing like hand tight engine mounts. Bent. Is it bent? Doesn't want to move. put it all back together and have it be bent. That would suck. It kind of looks bent, the foot peg I'm worried about here. I'm going to put all this money into it to restore it. You know, you don't want it to look half-assed when it gets back together. I think it's just that the foot peg won't come all the way down. Yeah. So does that mean it's bent? Well, look at that later. Let's focus on trying to get all the engine stuff out of there. Motor mounts. Well, I'm going to try to take the oil pan off to see how much clearance that will give me. Like I said, most of the bolts are missing, so I think there's one bolt left. Yummy. Alright, so I got the oil pan off, I got the oil pump out. Take another motor mount out. Okay, get a bigger wrench. The one in the middle is out, ready and tight. Well, so I took the oil pan off and I put the scissor jack under the engine and was able to lift it up to the point where it clears the frame. And in the back it popped out of the motor mount in the back. I mean, it's scratching up the frame, the cylinder head studs, exhaust studs are scratching this area. You really need two people to do this. So, I don't have two people. But I think I can just pull it out and put it down. But I think when I reassemble it, I probably will put the lower end in without the top end assembled. And then assemble the top end. Should I just take the top end apart with it in the frame so that I know that I can do that? Online people say you can do it. I don't know. It's already this far out. I might just take it out. God, this looks heavy though. Okay, well anyway, this allows me to rip the rest of the bike apart. So what should I do first? Should I take the back wheels apart and the swing arm and all that, and then take out the front? I don't know, the front's kind of a pain in the ass. I'm gonna take the front apart first. Alright, so I've got the bike strapped down in the center. We got the scissor jack under the front to elevate the front wheel off the ground. So I can take the front wheel off and then pull the forks out, hand tight, like everything else. Okay. And one of the nuts is actually missing. Not surprising. Keepers. Right. You can see the damage sitting out is done. Unfortunately. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, it's actually, this is the travel area here. And this is the part that got screwed. I don't know, these might actually be okay. Doesn't matter because I went online and ordered new ones. I don't know. Up here, that's pretty questionable. Anywho, these have to be taken apart. I'm not sure what I'll do with this. I think on these bikes, this would have been painted black anyway. Kind of like the same color as the wheel. So I might have these powder coated. Have them blasted and powder coated. We'll see how that. I'll ask the powder coat guy what he thinks. Different size bolt. It's not the right bolt. Well, one good thing about it being pulled apart before is it seems to generally just want to come right apart. Not having to fight with too much rusty bolts or anything like that. Okay. This one's better and probably usable. But like I said, I got new fork tubes. Because, why not? Spending so much money anyway. Alright. Oh, this is nice. Triple trees is hanging out. Alright. And, yeah. Take that apart. You can see frame's been painted probably multiple times. And what you do is kind of like, you know, just cover over this original VIN tag. The VIN number is over here. I don't know if you can see it. It's the VIN tag. And there's the VIN number printed into the frame. Okay, let's take the triple tree out. I was able to just turn this by hand. Oh, a needle bearing, very nice. That's better than those stupid ball bearings that go all over the place. Alright, well, it felt like it had some drag on it. That actually looks pretty good. Put that to the side. Well, they broke down. I got myself some big metric sockets. Alright. I had a 24 and a 27 before. Now you have a lot bigger ones. So there's this big nut, which is smaller than a 27. Okay. How about 25? $24. So I would have had that anyway. We got the air gun. Some of these big bolts. Yeah, still trying to take the center stand out. There's one. There's two. Leave the swing arm on. Let's get the back tire off. So this bike did not have a rear brake caliper. And on Partzilla, the rear brake caliper is different for Z1R. But I've asked another guy who's an expert in these, and he says they're all the same. So I want to double check that this will fit in the right location. So I want to take I should have done this before I took the whole bike apart, but I want to take the wheel out. And that's kind of hard to do with it all apart like this. So keep the shocks off. Okay. It's a different size. Okay, that's a 19. This is a 17. broken on this. Castle nut for the rear axle is broken. Okay, where am I? Take this off. Coming right out of it. Right, so I've got the rear master cylinder installed, and I just wanted to check that everything moves freely. It looks like it can fit properly. The gap on the stay bar and the master cylinder is super, super tight. I had to hammer it in there with the rubber hammer. That's not going to cut it from after I, powder coat everything. So I'll have to take a grinder to that. I think it'll open it up a little bit. But anyway, I have a bottle jack over here. Just enough to get the tire off. Off the ground. There we go. So I think that's going to be fine. Okay, so now I can take the wheel out. See if it's totally stuck. It's this pivot point right here. Okay. This is the part where the frame will fall over. Alright, so now I have to get the swing arm off of there. And then the last step will be to go over it. I have to get rid of this broken bolt. I have to go over it and look for any kind of rubber grommet, any screws that are still in it. Part of the engine mount is still in there. The rubber bushings for the side covers are still in there. Gotta get all that stuff out. Yeah, I don't think I caught it on camera, but that's the swing arm. So, time is it? 9:30 a.m. Gotta go to Taekwondo in about 15 minutes, so I gotta get that out of there. And I need to strip down. So now it's like phase 2. So now the whole thing's taken apart. But now I've got to. So what I want to focus on is I need to make a big pile of stuff, everything that's going to go to the powder coater, because you get basically one shot, unless you want to make multiple trips over there. But basically, I drop it off with this guy, and 1 to 2 weeks later, everything is just done. So now there's like the second level of strip. So everything on the frame that's rubber or has a bolt in it has to come out. The swing arm bushings need to come out of there, because when they powder coat it, they heat it. So they want all the bearings out of there. I'm gonna try to leave these races in here because they look like they're not easy to get out of there. I don't know, they screwed up. They feel fine. What else? Yeah, so everything has to come apart. So now, like the wheels have to come apart. Anything I want on the wheels, like maybe the sparker carrier, if I want that to be powder coated, probably won't do that. But all like these little brackets, for a full restoration, I want to do all that. Oh, I've got some wiring ahead of me. What a mess. Ugh. You know, this light bracket is probably a one-off for the Z1R. Usually they just have a chrome ring. This was originally chrome. Someone had spray painted over it. So maybe I'll take that apart and I'll send that out. Yuck. So that's what I have to do. And when I'm done with that, I'll have a big pile of stuff to go. And then everything else will go in a bin and I'll put it up in the attic till I'm ready to start reassembling, which will probably not be for a while. So I have to get this one out. And it's kind of like a prime candidate to do that weld a nut on the top of it kind of thing. There's plenty of access, and I would like to learn how to do that. I did try it once before, but it didn't have, the place I was doing it didn't have very good access. But I don't trust my welding skills. I'm just not very good at it. And I have a crappy Amazon $100 welder. So what I'm going to do is just try to drill it out. So I need to start with a flat surface. And I can get a little bit of that out of there. Another reason I don't want to do the nut thing is, like, you know, this is probably just rusted into the nut underneath. So I don't know, it's kind of unlikely. Maybe the heat would free it up. I don't know. Maybe I could hit it with a hammer. Is there enough to grab onto? Somebody's already tried to grab onto it, as you can see. There's not a lot there to grab onto. Nope. Nope. Okay. Snap off? Yep. Cheap fucking crap. Well, that just made a simple job fucking nightmare. Where do you buy quality drills? Drill bits. You're fucking great. it off center and fucked it all up. Oh god, such a pain in the ass. Alright, well, a tiny bit of luck. It did move when I drilled it, so I can get under it and turn it out a little bit by grabbing onto the thread. Is that all I'm going to get? It's moving ever so slightly. Let's see what I can do with that. Got it to come up a bunch. Sorry for the background noise. My neighbor's mowing his lawn and I have the door open. It's mid-October 2022 and it's really beautiful outside. I have to take that thing for a ride. Okay. Come on, baby. Yes. Yes. Oh, right. Well, that sucked. But I think I got away without ruining it too much. I definitely hurt the threads. Well, I think I got away with it because I can tighten that up pretty darn good. And I think this is just holding down the rear cowl. So I think that's gonna be okay. All right, good. So that's done, and I think that means I'm done with the frame. Needle bearings in the swing arm that I'll want to replace. So I want to get the old ones out before it gets powder coated. Because when you try to take them out, of course you can screw up the paint or powder coat, whatever. It is. It's 2 on each side. Breaking down the forks. bolt out of the bottom. You can see I got this is a tool that will keep the, what's it called, the inner dampener from turning when I take the bolt out of the bottom. So there's a dampener that goes through this inner fork tube. It's bolted to the base, and that keeps the fork tube from coming out. Oil goes between the two of those and reduces the rate of bounce. So I just broke this loose, barely. Just enough oil in there to make a huge mess. There's actually quite a bit of oil in here. Oops. So there's a clip in here. Retaining ring, snap ring, and then there's a little flat washer that it sits against. It should come right out. Excuse me. Alright. There's that. And now what do we got left is the oil seal. And in the bottom there's probably a little copper ring right there. So I have to clean these up. Thinking about trying to get these powder coated. Inside have some marks, but the outside looks okay, not fantastic. But I think if it was powder coated, it might look nice. It'd be pretty durable. Alright, so anyway, that's how that comes apart. Well, here's a total pile of suck. I stripped down the wheels. And this one is bent. I don't know if you can see it on the... Yeah, put it up on here. Yeah, you can see it right there. Don't know what happened to it. The other side seems totally fine. It's like, I don't know, how did they ruin that? Trying to pry the tire off maybe, but there's no marks. I don't get it. Here's everything that's going to the powder coater. Whole frame, everything's going to be blasted and powder coated. Even those brake levers. And that headlight thing. even though that's not correct. I don't care. Well, what do we got? We have the frame for the Z1R. It's come back from paint and powder coat. This guy's great. You just drop everything off. He's fast. A couple weeks later, 2 weeks later, it's all done. Can barely make out the serial number, but that's okay. Everything comes back, except for the frame, everything comes back wrapped in plastic so it doesn't get all banged on. I took one thing out, the battery box, just as an example. It's so smooth. This thing was rusty. You can see some remnants of the rust, but it's nice and perfect now. Well, not perfect, but you know what I mean. It's nice and smooth. For me to get this, like to try and sandblast this and then paint it, primer, paint, takes forever. This was like 30 bucks. The whole thing, all the little pieces, I had tons of little pieces that I brought. I'm super lazy because everything in here needed to be painted like black. I just had them blast everything with 38 pieces. 36 plus the frame with the swing arm. It's like $1,000. Which is a lot, but it's a good bike. Well, hopefully it will be a good bike. Well, thanks for watching this part 1, and what a piece of garbage I bought. But we'll get it there. It's going to be a long, tough haul. We found out some interesting things, taking it all apart. And in the next episode, I believe we'll be diving into the engine to see how that looks. So, stay tuned. About the content of the video, I try to balance like showing, can't really show every little thing. That just takes up so much disk space on the camera. But I do try to show some detail, and I think it does get tedious, and I kind of don't mind letting it, be a little bit tedious, because that's what this work actually is. Like if you do this motorcycle restoration or automotive restoration, a lot of it is really tedious. Anyway, that being said, thank you for watching.